In a quiet, forgotten corner of a small town, billionaire Arthur sat in a humble diner, a place far removed from his world of glass towers and lavish parties. He was there incognito, hoping to find a sliver of the simple life he'd long since lost. As he nursed a cup of black coffee, his eyes were drawn to a small table where a mother and her young daughter sat. The mother was weeping silently into her hands, her shoulders shaking with a sorrow that seemed to fill the small space around them. But the little girl, no older than 6, was smiling. Arthur watched, intrigued, as the little girl held a fork and knife, pretending to cut into something on her completely empty plate. She'd bring the empty fork to her mouth, chew with theatrical delight, and pat her stomach. So yummy, Mommy," she'd exclaim, her voice a cheerful whisper. "I'm so full." She was putting on a brave performance, a one-act play of happiness designed solely to comfort her heartbroken mother. The sight was both beautiful and utterly devastating. Arthur felt a knot tighten in his chest, a feeling he hadn't experienced in years. After a few more minutes, the mother wiped her tears, gave her daughter a weak smile, and they stood up to leave. As they walked out the door, Arthur's gaze fell to the empty plate the girl had left behind. Tucked just under the rim was a small folded piece of paper. His curiosity piqued. He walked over to the table after they were gone. He picked up the note, a crumpled piece of a napkin, and unfolded it. The words were written in the shaky, uncertain handwriting of a child who was just learning to spell. It was a simple yet profound sentence. "Please don't tell my mom I'm hungry. She already feels sad." The air left Arthur's lungs. The note, so small and insignificant, hit him with the force of a physical blow. The selflessness of this tiny child who chose to endure her own hunger to protect her mother's feelings was a level of love he had never witnessed. The carefully constructed walls around Arthur's heart crumbled. He sat back down at his own table, the note trembling in his hand, and for the first time in decades, tears streamed down his face. This wasn't the fleeting sadness of a stock market dip or a deal gone wrong. This was a deep, soul-shaking wave of guilt and overwhelming compassion. How could he possess so much while this little girl had nothing but an empty plate and a heart full of love? He immediately called his assistant, his voice thick with emotion. "Find them," he ordered. "Find that mother and daughter." It didn't take long. He learned their story. The father had passed away unexpectedly, leaving them with a mountain of medical debt. They had lost their home, their car, everything. The mother worked odd jobs, but it was never enough. They were living on the brink, with kindness from strangers, and the fierce, protective love of a little girl being the only things keeping them going. Arthur didn't just write a check. He met them, not as a billionaire, but as a man whose heart had been changed. He secured them a new, fully furnished home. He set up a trust fund for the little girl's education, ensuring she would never have to worry about her future. He helped the mother find a stable, well-paying job that allowed her to be home every evening. He gave them not just financial security, but a chance to heal and rebuild their lives together. As he watched them one evening laughing in their new kitchen over a real plentiful dinner, Arthur finally understood. His yachts, his mansions, his billions in the bank, they were all hollow. True wealth wasn't the money you accumulate. It was the hope you could give, the burdens you could lift, and the smiles you could bring to faces that had forgotten how. That little girl with her empty plate and selfless note had given him a gift far greater than any he could ever buy. She had shown him the true meaning of being rich. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel for more content that inspires. We'll see you in the next one.